Yeah, I think you did. I think you had everything in there.
Nice.
Yeah, associated with those sort of videos.
Atmospheric settings, abandoned buildings, forests.
Yeah, I thought there was a sort of dark feeling about the video, and the sort of aura of it just felt quite rock.
I think you did, yes. I think there was a lot of things that I could relate to as an alternative video. The fact that there was a storyline, but there was also bits of live performances as well. So yeah, I felt that it did.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I really like the song you used. It's really good.
I would.
I certainly would.
I would.
Yeah, I think if you watch that, you can sort of interpret it any way you want, and sort of, yeah.
It sort of tells a story of love and a love lost and all of the feelings that we go through when a love is lost.
You can engage with it. I don't know about relate to it.
So I sort of understood the story that was going on, and understood sort of the man's pain in it and things like that. I did, yes. I like the sort of crossover between the sort of story and the band playing as well. I like that.
Yeah, no, it's good all the way through. I say it was engaging.
Personally, I don't know if I would have preferred more of the story about the love lost rather than the actual music performance bits.
Yeah, there's loads of performance.
Location was great, really good. Yeah.
I did, yes, because I liked the fact that when the chap in the relationship was going through all of his stuff post relationship breakup, that it was all done somewhere pretty grim, somewhere pretty lonely and desolate. So I kind of like that. I thought it worked really well.
Definitely. Love the location.
No, not really.
I think there was literature and art I found more than the whole pop culture thing. I could relate to the whole sort of nature versus the dirty grime stuff. So it made me think of things like William Morris and even maybe a little bit of Edgar Allan Poe because of all the anger and all of that darker side.
When the man was shaking to his hand, it was almost like he was having a deal with the devil or somebody, sort of singing the name of the song as well.
They noticed a touch towards religion with the priest. Forbidden love, searching for things that you can't grasp.
It's just a basic old story, really, isn't it? It looks to me like as a man fighting with his demons, he's obviously lost somebody he cares about, and he's sort of desperate to find them. And it's about his struggle to do that. And so it shows you the struggle he's got in his head.
In love with the girl, obviously, and he was thinking back about it, but then he had to deal with the devil, and he lost her, and he was on his own and looking for clues and things like that, kind of.
I think there's definitely something more deeper than that. Maybe that's where the religious person comes in. It's like something, an obstacle or something that was in their way of their relationship, which broke them at the fact that they both run in completely different directions and are looking at each other rather desperately. Something else was going on, and that's why he was left with these huge feelings of anger, especially when we see him looking in the mirror. I'm trying to work out if is he angry with himself.
It looks professional. I like the shadows. I like the fact that your face is the main sort of focus of the picture.
Like the sort of lighting and the sort of thoughtfulness on their faces, and they're looking quite serious.
The only thing I'd say is devil at the top could be a little bit stronger. Nothing to dislike about it. It looks really good. Like the colours, like the sort of shadow effect on it. Looks really professional.
Very well thought out, the digipack has, with the pictures of the band members and the man from the video. That looks really good. And the photo in his eye, the magnifying glass, is really good.
The writing's the same. It looks like this shot on the front cover looks like one of the scenes from the video.
Definitely, because like I was saying, you get sort of the darkness inside it as well.
Firstly, it's important to note that each interviewee is a member of our target audience. They have a gender ratio of 50-50. They are each between 30 and 45 years old, and they are each consumers of post-punk music. One thing I learned from our audience feedback is that we got the balance right with the subtlety of our intertextual references, and we're able to create layers of meanings which enhance the video. One interviewee discussed how our music video reminded her of William Morris's work. William Morris is a famous artist who was influenced by the Pre-Raphaelite movement, and the Pre-Raphaelite movement was heavily influenced by nature and certainly focused on appreciating nature. This theme in our music video, the thought in our mind was provoked by the contrast between the grimy industrial setting in the abandoned building and the nature of the forest. So this shows how our audience feedback illustrates how adding layers of meaning and intertextual references can really enhance the quality of the music video. Stuart Hall's reception theory can be of use when analysing the responses. Specifically, most of our audience had a preferred reading of the music video. An example of this is where an interview responded picking up on the fact that the settings metaphorical embodiments of the character's mental state. So for example, the degraded nature of the aesthetics in the abandoned building reflect the degraded nature of his mentality and his happiness after his loss. And so I think that shows how our audience feedback illustrates the validity of our creative decisions, and it shows that we effectively use mise-en-scène in an innovative way to add meaning to the text. The overwhelming consensus on our audience feedback to the fact that we adhere to the codes and conventions of the genre was significant, because it shows the success of our video in fitting into the genre of post-punk. Steve Neal's theory of repetition and difference can be used to analyse our audience's responses. Steve Neal proposed that for a media text to be successful, it must conform to a set of conventions while also differ from the genre to make it engaging and original. Our audience responses really prove how Steve Neal's theory applies to our video, since there was the overwhelming consensus that we both applied to our conventions, but also the audience at the same time enjoyed it. From looking back at the video, I think it complies to Steve Neal's theory of repetition and difference, since there are key areas of conformity in the music video. For example, there's a lot of performance. We see the band performing, which is typical in rock music videos, but at the same time our innovative use of editing shows difference, since in the intro and middle section we used editing to foreshadow later events in the narrative. This is an unconventional medium of editing,